Hello, everybody. Hello. And we have another special person here today. I'm always getting special people, isn't it? And how am I doing this? But this one is one with a twist. He's a software developer that helps many people in many ways. His name's Maximilian. So what I'm going to do, I'm always chatting. So I'm going to stop the chatter. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. And I'm going to let him introduce what software he's developing and how he's making things really thrive within the software community. Maximilian, welcome, my man. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Was that a good enough introduction, or did I fluff it?
It was glorious.
It was. Absolutely. Okay. Well, okay. I tried my best. Maximilian, just introduce yourself, my man. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, so I'm Max. I'm the co-founder of Unyfire, and I'm actually the business co-founder, and I have a technical co-founder. His name is Yassin. Lives also in Germany, in Berlin. He's from Morocco, and he does all the software stuff, and I'm more of the business co-founder. I do design. Like probably gonna get to it. I always do too many things at once, but that also kind of helps with, I do the user interface, user experience design. I talk to people. I do the search engine optimization and stuff like analytics to understand how people are using our software. And I mean, in one sentence, our software is really like an AI-enabled tool, repurposing platform that helps content creators scale and multiply and repurpose their content. So you can upload a podcast episode like this, and you can get LinkedIn posts out of it, worksheets, tweets, blog posts. Next week you're gonna have an ebook. So a lot of things you can get from one source that saves a lot of time. And you can. My favorite vision of this is always like people can just refocus on the fun stuff. Perfecting it, thinking about what to create creatively and put it in. And yes, I mean, that's, like you found us in AppSumo. So we're like a year in, and yeah, we just keep building, and it was a rough ride, nonetheless.
Well, Maximilian, I mean, let me tell you, folks, I can vouch for this piece of software because I had this vision in my head, and I'm a good content creator, but I'm no good with writing or anything. Now, don't tell anybody. I'm not good at writing or anything like that. And I thought to myself, I need something that does something with my content and does it pretty much all for me. And kapow, Unyfire came out of nowhere. Now, as he said, what this does is that you can create one piece of content. For instance, I do podcasts, right? My podcasts go for about an hour and a half. And what his software does, it literally takes that content and really takes it and multiplies it in different types of content. So you take that one big, I call it pillar content. The podcast is a pillar content, and then it creates up to 30 different types of content from that pillar content. Is that correct, Maximilian?
Absolutely. So, I mean, one thing I also always forget is like, so you uploaded it, it gets automatically transcribed in a bunch of different languages. And then, the AI basically goes over the transcript, extracts ideas, and then puts these ideas into the formats you want. So that's pretty much the process.
Wow. And you also have a facility where not only will this software do it for you, but you also can work as a team. Is that correctly? How does that work? Can you work as a team?
I mean, so obviously you can inside the software, you have workspaces, you have the usual, AI editing features. So, once your content is created, you obviously can collaborate on it, share it, download it. So we obviously want to do a lot more in these things, but anything from Google Docs, from Figma, from Miro, all of these things we want to enable, because let's be honest, I rarely work alone on something.
Okay, so just give us for instance. So, for instance, I'm going to upload my podcast now. I'm having problems with YouTube now. What kind of content breakdown? What it will create for me for YouTube? Because after this, I'm going to throw this onto YouTube. So when I've done this podcast, what is the process and the flow from there? Because I will now want to go to YouTube. Just explain how that's broken down.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you upload it, it gets transcribed. you first need to select the YouTube assets you want. So you have a YouTube description, YouTube titles, YouTube tags, the timestamps. I think the timestamps are very annoying on YouTube. You always have to put them there in the little description box, and then you have to count them. So the AI is fairly good now to get fairly accurate timestamps. So what I would just do, upload it, get these assets. The titles, they're a bit more like an inspiration than actual like perfect or something. Just take that, and you can, all the annoying nuisance you have when uploading a YouTube video, you already have the assets. You just copy and paste them inside. You edit them a bit, then you're done. And obviously, anything besides YouTube you want to do to promote yourself, maybe tweets, threads are coming soon. Maybe you're on LinkedIn. Then you just create these assets for the other platforms, so you can be a multi-platform or promote your YouTube channel on LinkedIn. Yes.
Oh, Maximilian, would you like to share the control panel and just break it down? Because I think it's easier when people can visually see. Because I've got my own. Because of course I jumped on this, listeners, as soon as I saw this piece of software. So I've got my control panel open, and it's got all content, podcasts, blogs, all that at the top there. If we show them, then when they visually see the kind of thing that can be done just with one swoop, it will make more sense to them. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So let me get like a YouTube video to just test this. Okay, and maybe something difficult. Okay, so I have the link address.
Yeah, so
okay.
I've used, listeners, while he's doing that, I've used it myself quite a few times for YouTube, and the process actually saved me a lot of time because it helped me do the title, the tags, and the timestamps as well as description. Now, usually that would take me an hour to do at least, but this software actually made it so easy. It produced it within about 2 or 3 minutes, from an hour to 2 or 3 minutes. That's the process for me. Now, Maximilian, you take it away.
Yeah, I mean, so really it is like, I have this Google thing here, but yeah, I mean, it's a fairly, so this is already something generated. Obviously we test it all the time. So yeah, I mean, you can literally go inside here, super simple, and you take, let's go for the YouTube thing. So you get like title, tags, descriptions, maybe timestamps. Let's do some tweets as well. So this is literally the process. I'm gonna go in there. You can paste text. That's something in the future we want to have docs, PDFs, whatever you want, or URLs would be also quite nice. Simply because, like, obviously, I think every one of us follows other creators that are also good knowledge that could, I don't know, be synthesized with your own stuff.
Okay.
So we want to enable this, but yeah, I mean, this is, I think, a 9 minutes video. I'm just going to go inside.
Okay, so while it's doing that, so basically, not only will it just curate your things, our things individually, but we can use other people's content, which we really shouldn't be doing. But you have that option to be creative.
Yeah, so I think if you mention the people and you give shout out, then obviously everyone builds on others' knowledge as well. I think it's totally fine. If you just do plagiarism, that's obviously bad, but I don't think that works as a content creator anyway, right? Since like if you're a small content creator and you start out and you copy someone's work, not sure that's gonna work anyway. So yeah, I mean, this is literally it. So yeah, usually when we click on this, it's already transcribed in the background. So it could be that in this case not, but it goes quite fast, maybe under a minute or so.
Yeah, I mean, my experience is the maximum it took 3 minutes. There were times when one time it took 30 seconds and I was shocked and I thought, no, that's not possible. So obviously you're getting a lot of traffic because a lot of people are jumping on with the offer you're giving. So, but even so, the worst scenario I've ever had with your software was about 3 minutes. That's all it took.
Yeah. So I have a little bug here. I know no idea what's happening. Yeah, sometimes I just have to reload, I think. Yeah.
So as you're going through there, it's showing you some
options. Yeah, so Yeah. So for example, this one, I like this one as an example just because it's about, large language model evaluations. So the point here to show is it's just very, very technical content. It's very, it's not this generic ChatGPT, something like this. ChatGPT could never write this without any context or content from you. And yeah, I mean, you can see this, for example, is an hour, leads to a 9,000 words article or blog post. And, it goes really, and this is like, I think this is one of the things we always talk about. It's like, yeah, you could use ChatGPT, but we use the language capabilities not for generating from scratch, but, to use your own stuff. And, it talks about very technical details. It finds a lot of detail. And then, the LinkedIn posts are similar. It understands kind of like the problems. We also wrote hooks here, for example. I don't know, if you're trying to create use case specific benchmarks, you need to start with the right data. I don't know. ChatGPT couldn't do, it couldn't come up with this from scratch, right? So I think this is what we really want to do here. Here, this, for example, is just it shows new trends in natural language processing benchmark and just lists them. So it uses different techniques to filter out things that could be interesting. And then obviously, I don't know, tweets. You get like 40 tweets or so just because I had a lot of fun creating a bunch of templates for them. And yeah, you can see that this is like this. Oh, I overcame evaluation challenges by blah blah blah. So these kind of like hook writing, showing your expertise.
Right.
Using like a bit of like these small frameworks. And yeah, I mean, there's even long form tweets. So this one is stuck, I think. And then, this one wasn't formatted. But yeah, you can still see sometimes it has a...
So at the top there, if I can just stop you quickly there. So at the top there, these are all the different types of formats that have been created from that one pillar content, which is what I call it. So you can, so for instance, if you generated 30 different types of content from your pillar content, that's obviously Twitter's, LinkedIn, blogs, etc. It'll all be dotted up there, so it's easy to get to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is like, I mean, in the end, you end up with like this Notion style. So here's all your generations, and you just click through them, and you're gonna end up.
And I notice also you allow us to actually edit our content. So even though when it's created, you've got an editor there where we can break it down even further.
Yeah, and it's collaborative, so you could do that with people as well.
Oh, hold on. What do you mean? Do you mean we can collaborate in real time? Some other people can have access to that one account, and we can actually edit and.
Yeah. So there's like a team space, right? So you could just invite people to this. Like in this one, it's like 6 people inside. So we had live editing. We got to bring this back, but you could now work on this together.
So so the similar type of thing that we get with Google Docs or with and so you get the collaboration and you can see people editing and etc. Wow, that piled up on top of it.
Yeah, so you can't see them, but you can do it. Like we had a fairly expensive service that makes it live and nice with these little bubbles. We gotta bring it back once we are. It's at the moment it's a bit like an expense that's not 100% necessary.
Yeah, no, I get that. But that's something for the future that you're going to upgrade and add into the system.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so how did you come towards this concept? Because this is something that helps a lot of people, and it saves a huge amount of time. Like I said, if I'm going on YouTube and I'm breaking down things on YouTube, it takes me about an hour for me to do the text. But this does it in just less than 3 minutes. So how did you come about having this concept? How did you get to the concept of doing this piece of software?
Yeah, I think it comes out of my own struggle. So I don't necessarily have to chill to sit down and write. So, and I had this huge online course, which I hosted. It was open and free. It was like in the crypto sphere. So just invited a bunch of people, And I had all these recordings and interviews. So we had one lecture, I don't know, Tuesday, on Thursday, we had a guest with DCs and whatever. Doesn't really matter. But I had all this content and I couldn't do anything about it because obviously, okay, like a big creator, like a marketing team can repurpose it. But you need someone to, I don't know, get a transcript and then write an article out of it. It's impossible to do. You got to need 10, 20 hours. And yeah, I mean, this is how I basically started. And then like GPT and this whole things came up, and me and my developer friend, we were literally we literally built like 5, 6 products that failed or like that never really materialized, you know, a long journey. And then we were like, hey, this is the first time we actually built a proper, you know, something that I really have. And, you know, I can build it out of my own point of view. And that's how we started, yeah. And yeah. And now I do sorry.
No, and it's a situation that it solved the problem that you were having, because we obviously, before we came on here, we spoke just briefly, because I'm neurodivergent myself and I have certain issue when it comes to writing and visualizing certain things. And you said you have similar issues too. And I suppose it came out of the love to try to make things easier for yourself, as well as for people that do have issues with writing and actually putting things together in that way. So this has helped you along your journey at the same time, because you was struggling in the past yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nowadays, whenever I have a help desk article or a blog post, I mean, I just record it. Like I go into my recording software, I have a little outline, and I just chat, because we could be sitting here talking for like 2 or 3 hours. That's not an issue. But sitting down, concentrated for, you know, writing an article for half an hour, like that's not going to happen. No. So it was like, so it really comes out of this. Also, like I'm fairly successful on LinkedIn, but always inconsistent, you know, with content creation. When I do it, I smash it. And my last post had like 170 likes or something, but I just don't do it enough. So it's kind of, you know, like, so I always had these struggles, like how can I get enough content? There's really good content already there. So yeah, I think that is kind of like a reflection of myself. Yeah.
No, I totally hear, because the thing is this is how I get around the writing, is I dictate. So I'll bring up you know, and I'll speak out what I want. And now you've built this. It's a situation I can have a conversation with someone. I can have a conversation with myself, or I could do a podcast. No matter what, it will actually put things in the conversation I've had, which is original. It's not hallucinating, because a chat can do that. It's based on regurgitating the same piece of information. But because we're having this sorry, I'll get there in the end, listeners, because we're having this conversation now, which is original, unique. We are creating our own content, and we don't have to sit there writing it. So we can sit here talking for the next 20 minutes or so, and that's a huge amount of conversation and content. And so then we're in a position where we can now just use this tool. It's created original content, which is not taken from the net. And also when for instance, an article is made with your software, tweets or whatever, it is original, it is unique. And if we've spoken about something that is unique to us, or a unique, for instance, piece of software, bam, it's really brought it out for us and helped us. And this is the kind of software that I would use for my clients too, because my clients are also similar to me. So that's what I do with my clients. So I use software like this to help my clients the same way. We're in a really good time, I think, at the moment with AI. It could help the things that we're weak on, but now accelerate what we're strong on.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen that myself. So it's for example, it's a bit, I mean, it's not really off topic, but I'm really successful at search engine optimization. So just getting traffic on the website, and because it kind of combines research and just being an internet worm, you know, crawling through keywords, finding content ideas for my website. So I built, for example, more than 500 tools, little AI tools, for example, text inflator generator, paragraph generator, ebook title generator. They're just, you know, small tools on my website with a prompt. hit on a keyword, and like, since I'm very good at creativity, I love researching, so I can, I can just hyperfixate on this stuff for 3 hours, and then I have 300 keywords. Now I have to have AI to just scale this. I produce these tools in 2 or 3 minutes. Before, I would need a developer to help me create this stuff. It's similar with blog posts. So I can take some original information from me, take small pieces, put in the prompts, and it generates. So I can, like, AI helps me in an insane way to scale my creativity. And now sometimes my co-founder, sometimes it feels like a cheat code, because I can generate like all these ideas, but now I can execute them, which was never possible before.
Well, I'll tell you something, Matt. It now makes sense, because the thing is the information that it was bringing out, and I tested it, quite a lot, and I thought, oh my God, the actual way the AI has come back at us, it's done it in quite a unique way. Listeners, you really got to test it, because I can't explain it. The information, the way it actually prompts back at you with the information is amazing. Now I understand why the prompts are so good, because he's so good at prompting effectively by searching all this time. He's very good at actually ringing out the right information via search. So now when he's come to prompting, he knows exactly what he needs to ask to get exactly what's needed to sound natural. Because I must admit, the information, Maximilian, that your software brings back comes quite naturally. So not only is it using our information, but the information that is the way it's worded, it sounds not unleash in an amazing world, and all that has been taken out.
Delving into the intricacies.
Exactly, because you can tell an AI written piece from a mile off, but he's obviously dealt in such a way and prompted it in a specific way that it gets rid of that 99% of the time. It's not perfect, nothing is, but that kind of AI speak, the majority of the time, his software does it in a way it's natural human speak. All right, nothing's perfect, but it's very, very close, and that's what's really impressed me. Now I understand why, because he's a search fanatic for quite some time. So that's really, really impressive. And what's more impressive is obviously he's done it from the point of view, he's tried to help not only help himself when he has certain issues, just like myself with writing, etc., but he's helping so many people out there that have this problem. So yes, he helps everybody save time, because this software saves a huge amount of time. And when I'm saying saves you time, I mean it's not 50, 100, 200%. It's far more than that. But more importantly, it helps people that cannot write or have difficulty at writing, but they can express themselves. It helps people to actually with business, to produce so much more content. We're not stupid. We just have certain issues and we're strong in others. So it's helping us give those superpowers. Maximilian, have I said correctly, or is there more you want to add in regard?
No, I mean, just, regarding the prompt, I mean, it sounds a lot more sophisticated than it actually is. We just created a huge ass list of terms that the AI is forbidden to use, for example. So, that the intricacies and everything, we just said like, okay, this is like not allowed. So it's a mixture of prompting and speeding the language model to say, to not use these. But yeah, thanks.
So where are you going to go with this? What is your vision when it comes? Because you've just started this, what did you say, the last year?
Yes, it's a bit older than a year, So the first 5 months were quite chaotic, and now we have that velocity that comes, after just pushing through a lot of painful moments. Yeah, but the vision is really so. For me, the vision really would be, or like I would say, not really the vision, but so very practically speaking, I would say, a content creator should get any content in and get out whatever format they want. So obviously I wrote the prompts at the moment. That's something we want to get rid in the future. Just like everybody can use their own prompts. We create a huge community library, a bit like Figma community or Mirrorverse or something, where we have like hundreds of, I don't know, blog post templates, newsletter templates, and we can use everything. And then at some point we have to think about do we want to go into, do we want to also do scheduling maybe? I think, from in my case, it would be super nice. I just dropped one really good piece of technical for products or business knowledge inside. And I can immediately, immediately click, say, okay, schedule these tweets here. Or maybe even we have an AI agent that knows the times I want to post and just says like, okay, this is good, great. Let's publish this here. So it's a bit like, this is where I would say, I just want to help creators scale whatever they put in the easiest way possible. Because that's my pain point is not just writing it, but also then scheduling it and so on. So yeah.
And regarding, obviously, the glue of the internet, and what I mean by that, your APIs, and what I mean, listeners, if you're not sure about APIs, basically connecting to other pieces of software. So say, for instance, I've got a social media software I'm using, and I want to connect Unyfire with its output, what it's generated for me, and then it can go to my social media management software. What are you doing to help connect us to other pieces of software? Where do you stand with that?
Yeah, I mean, we started with make.com and Zapier now, which is kind of like the big automation platforms, but I know much more now. So there's, Flowmatic, Integrately, there's a bunch of them.
I'm just going to say this, Alberto.
Yeah, Alberto. Yeah, so
are you going to integrate Alberto? I'm just asking out the.
Yeah. So my co-founder actually started on it, but then ran a bit out of time. But yeah, this one is also one we want to use, obviously. And yeah, of course, I mean, the software cannot exist in a silo. I think that's clear. So we're probably going to create our own API, our own webhooks, and then also probably just outsource this work to developers so that they can just create integrations for Suite, Buffer, all the things that are out there.
Wow, so that's quite exciting, because that will save another huge amount of time. Because instead of, I mean, look, you've already saved us a huge amount of time, but we're lazy people, right? So
it's good. It's good. We should be lazy.
So if we can connect it to other tools, so we can be a one-man band, that will be great. And and I think you're totally right. When it comes to software now, everybody expects you to be connecting to other forms of software, other ways of reaching out, which is great. So I'm glad to hear that's the situation. So is there anything you want to add that we may have missed? So you've talked about the future and what your vision is and where you possibly could go. Is there anything in the software that we may have missed that you've spoken about the flow, you've spoken about teams. So that's possible, especially when we can collaborate in real time, that's very powerful. Most software doesn't do that. So we can get a virtual person to help us out and do all the work for us, or literally have a friend go one-to-one with us. Is there anything else? So you have this template system you're talking about. How does that work, the template system?
Yeah, I mean, in the future, you can insert your own prompts, because like obviously, so for the process, for example, the tweets, I wrote, I think 15 different tweet templates with different hooks. So it goes up to 40 unique posts, fairly unique. Sometimes they're a bit similar. But I wrote all of these prompts and posts and whatever. And in the sense of like a good software as a service, like Figma, for example, Notion, they all have this tiny modularity. You can build anything with these tools. Yes. And what I want for Unyfire is that you can build any output you have in mind, so that you just take your input, you can get it exactly in the output you want. So, for example, I work with book writing consultants.
Okay.
And they exactly know how they want to write their chapters. Okay. And they could obviously use my ebook chapter, but it would take them quite a bit of time to just rewrite it, which is the issue. So I would allow them, in an interface to put in their own prompts, and maybe in the future that would be the sickest thing. Just upload something, we analyze it and extract that, that template and structure just automatically out of it, and you maybe edit it a bit and then throw it into your system. That would be cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Is this something similar to ChatGPT? You go into properties and then you can then talk in your own voice by saying, I am a so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. So then when you output any information, it always uses that one thing as reference. Is that similar to what you're talking about?
So I would say it's a mixture, first of all, of the format. So you see that when you see like a very large, I don't know, Twitter account,
yes,
or LinkedIn, they just have a very good way of writing these formats. They know how the hooks need, you know, they know how to do these storytelling frameworks. And I'd love for people to be able to copy these perfect posts and then just put in their own information, because then this barrier of needing to write very well just disappears, right? And that would be awesome.
Wow, it's just blown me away. Look, listeners, I can tell you, I've used this piece of software and it's already blown me away. And if it just stayed as it was, I'm in. I got it on AppSumo. It's on AppSumo right now, so you can get a lifetime deal. And this is very important because when it comes off of lifetime, it's a situation you'll be paying the normal subscription, and it will be good value for money, I'm sure. But subscriptions burn you when you have more than 1, 2, or 3. So I would, if I was you, I'd get down to AppSumo, get the lifetime deal, and take it for a run. It's as simple as that. You've got nothing to lose but time itself. Would you not agree, Maximilian?
That's a perfect way to end.
Yeah, exactly. And with that said, Maximilian, thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man, and you've been kind enough to give me your time. You didn't have to, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you as a person, and I appreciate what you've actually brought to us as people wanting to save time within our lives so we can spend time with our families, etc. And so we appreciate you, and I really thank you for that. So thank you.
My pleasure. I mean, it's also a good business, right? So it's not how do you say it? It's not philanthropy. Yeah.
I know, but you've got to eat, right? So why shouldn't you make a business out of it? And so with that said, everybody, we will see you soon, and sayonara.
Ciao, ciao.